ल च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 को ल रेकर्डिङ स्टार्ट गरे ठिकै छ ओके म 1 को चाहिँ कन्टेन्टहरु शेयर गर्छु and then I'll try to explain the various thing related to software project management which is in chapter number 1 chapter number 1 मा चाहिँ हाम्रो numerical छैन numerical will start from chapter number 2 chapter number 2 बाट हाम्रो numerical start हुन्छ so chapter number 1 is just the overview of software project management है This is the overview of software project management. So we will see the basic of software project management, like what is a software and what a project is. Together, software project means what and in conjunction with management. So what is a software project management? Our अस्ति class as far as I remember, हामी चाहिँ what is management and what are the things that a management need to perform भन्ने कुरा हेरिरहेको थियो हो ल कसैले भन्नु त हामी लास्ट क्लासमा कुन चाहिँ पार्टमा डिस्कस गरिरहेको थियौं Does anyone remember? याद छ यस्तै क्लासमा as far as I remember मैले चाहिँ याद भएसम्म हामी च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 को म्यानेजमेन्ट टपिकमा थियौं सो म्यानेजमेन्टमा मैले प्लानिङ कोअर्डिनेटिङ इभ्यालुएटिङ सो भेरियस डिफरेन्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट एक्टिभिटीको तिमीहरुलाई देखाएको थिएँ त्यसैबाट कन्टिन्यु गरौँ है मलाई यादसम्म भएसम्म 3 नै जस्तो लागेछ तिमीहरुले मैले लेख्नु भनेको छु लेख्नु भने मतलब चाहिँ सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्टको लागि चाहिँ सेपरेट कपी नै बनाउनु भनेको हो किनभनेपछि अब अहिले त थ्योरी छ थ्योरीको त मैले पावर पोइन्ट कि कन्टेन्टहरु दुई तीनवटा पावर पोइन्ट कन्टेन्ट है फेरि एकै ठाउँबाट नै हैन कहिलेकाहीँ बुकको नै कुरा रेफर गरिरहेको हुन्छु So I'll be asking you just to write the main point, main bullet point or लेख्नु भन्नु that will be easy for you to cover in exam है अब तिमीको एक्जाम भनेको चाहिँ home based exam हुँदैन है time bound home based exam हुँदैन so definitely you go to exam center to give your final examination र अब घरै बसेर एक्जाम हुन्छ भन्ने चाहिँ चान्स चाहिँ कम छ है किनभने अरु युनिभर्सिटीले नि लास्टको सेमेस्टर एक्जामहरु अब चाहिँ फिजिकली नै गराउनलाई चाहिँ रुटिनहरु निकालिरहेछ सो तिमीहरु त अस्तिकोमा होम बेस एक्जाम गर्यो अब एक्जाम भनेको चाहिँ तिमीहरुको एक्जाम सेन्टरमा गएर फिजिकली नै एक्जाम हुन्छ है त्यो कारणले ल लेट मी शेयर द पावर पोइन्ट everyone can see this PowerPoint introduction भनेर यो PowerPoint देखाएको छ तिमीहरुले can you see this ल भन त मेरो आवाज त सुनिराकै होला छ है the page number 4 and this is actually the customized slide for your course content है software project management मा नि तिमीहरुको कोर्स कन्टेन्ट तिमीहरुको एक्ज्याक्टली पोखरा युनिभर्सिटीको 8 सेमेस्टर एसपीएम को लागि बनेको चाहिँ स्लाइड हो यो सबै म तिमीहरुलाई पनि दिनै हाल्छु सो अस्ति क्लासमा हामीले यो गरेको छौं म्यानेजमेन्ट व्हाट इज म्यानेजमेन्ट भन्नेमा थियो इट्स म्यानेजिङ बट टु म्यानेज व्हाट हैन बट टु प्लान व्हाट भन्ने केसमा म्यानेजमेन्टमा planning, organizing, staffing, directing, monitoring, controlling. These are the various 6 different things that a management need to perform. So we are just trying to see the overview of the thing. We'll not be explaining these all things in chapter number 1. So when we'll move on to chapter number 2, 3, and so on, we'll see these all things in detail as well. Like mostly in the part of staffing, monitoring. यो कुराहरु चाहिँ हामीले यहाँ चाहिँ CPM part पर्नुपर्छ critical path method and program evaluation review technique and as far as I remember तिमीहरुकोमा SAT भन्ने च्याप्टर हुन्छ है SAT भन्ने च्याप्टरमा somewhat you have covered this thing as well over there है त्यहाँ पनि पढ्या हुन्छ पढ्या छ गरे अब नपढ्या भने let it be है no problem हामी यहाँ पढिहाल्छौं अब प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट हो प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेज यो पार्ट गरेन हामीले यो इन्ट्रोडक्सन टु प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट गरेछ
यो गरेछ सर अस्ति हामीले
यो गरिसकेको छ है सो अब I'm just trying to review the thing about total in a nutshell. If someone want to explain what a project management is, project management can be categorized into 5 different categories: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, and closing. So the closing will be either with the successful or with the failure project as well. Closing doesn't mean that every time project ends with the success. Sometimes we need to end the project with a failure as well. So it's from initiating to closing. So there are in total 3 different steps in between initiating and closing. So in a nutshell, total what are the thing that project manager incorporates भन्ने बेला यो 5वटा कुरा हामी हेर्न सक्छौँ. अब एक्चुअली एक्जाममा चाहिँ 4 P's भनेर क्वेसन आएको थियो. अब यहाँ मैले लास्ट क्लासमा त यही स्लाइड मात्रै गराएको छु है, मलाई त्योभन्दा अगाडि गराएको जस्तो मलाई याद आउँदैन. सो प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट हेरौँ. Planning, monitoring, and control of the people, process, event is known as project management. A very concise definition of project management चाहिँ यहाँ छ. What is project management? Planning, monitoring, and control of the people, process, and event है. Not only people, it includes process and event is known as project management भनेर हुन्छ. So अब further अगाडि बढ्नुभन्दा पहिला you need to clear about what a project is and what a project not is भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ क्लियर हुनु एकदम चाहिँ जरुरी छ. So last time we saw the difference between a project and exploration. A routine task and the project lies in between the routine task and the exploration. It is not repetitive, not mundane as like a routine task, as like a repetitive task, and it's not like going wild as in the case of exploration, right? So one which may not end or one which may not be ended ever. So project को चाहिँ एउटा unique characteristic भनेको चाहिँ it's a resource intensive. It has got a fixed start and end time, and definitely it aims to produce something unique at the end, and that unique can be our project ले के बनाउँछ त. The unique can be product or can be objective driven भनिन्छ है त. कुनै प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ कुनै एउटा प्रोडक्ट बनाउनलाई बनेको हुन्छ अथवा to satisfy or to meet certain objectives हुन्छ है त. अब यहाँ 4 P's को चाहिँ यो कुरा चाहिँ अहिले तिमीलाई यहाँ एकछिनमा लेखुला. So development of the project is team activity. Mostly project requires large amount of people who work for a long period of time, generally not for few days भनिन्छ. So project is a team work है. तिमीहरूलाई कलेजमा हामी कुनै पनि सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट अथवा कुनै चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट गरिरहेको छ भनेदेखि डेफिनेटली यु वर्क इन अ टिम. प्रोजेक्टमा एउटा चाहिँ एसेन्सियल फ्याक्टर भनेको चाहिँ म्यानेजिङ पिपल इज द मोस्ट क्रुसियल फ्याक्टर इन केस अफ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट है. सो तिमीहरूले क्लासमा गर्ने तिमीहरूले युनिभर्सिटीमा गर्ने प्रोजेक्टमा चाहिँ वाइ वी आस्क यु टु वर्क इन अ ग्रुप. सो बिकज वी वान्ट स्टुडेन्ट टु नो हाउ टु वर्क इन अ ग्रुप है. भोलि तिमीहरूले रियल लाइफमा कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्ट गरिरहेको छौ भने स्पेसली इन द केस अफ सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट इट्स अ मल्टिडिसिप्लिनरी एक्ट. देयर आर पिपल फ्रम मल्टिपल डोमेन्स होइन. देयर इज अ क्लाइन्ट विल बी गिभिङ यु द रिक्वायरमेन्ट एन्ड द रिक्वायरमेन्ट मे or may not be clear. There is a designer, there is a tester, there is a developer, and in developer also there is a front end, back end, and there are so many different people involved in the project. And for the successful completion of the project, one thing is quite crucial, that software project manager must be able to coordinate all these people to match the objective है त. So त्यो भएर अब कलेजमा पनि प्रोजेक्ट गर्दाखेरि we work in a group because we want people to know how to work in a group है. तर त्यसको एडभान्टेज डिसएडभान्टेज दुइटै छ. कलेजको सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्टमा चाहिँ अब 4 जना ग्रुप बन्यो भने काम चाहिँ एकैजनाले गरे हुन्छ. अब हार्डली अर्को एकजनाले त्यहाँ सपोर्टिभ रोल गरे हुन्छ, बाँकी दुईजना चाहिँ आइडल हुन्छ है. द्याट इज ट्रु फर all kind of project that we do in the university है. But that's not true in the real life. रियल लाइफमा चाहिँ स्कुलमा गरे जस्तै ल त गर म चाहिँ लास्टमा प्रेजेन्टेसन दिन्छु भन्ने त हुँदैन. Things are not going to work in a real life. So these all are considered to be the soft skill है. यो सबैलाई चाहिँ सफ्ट स्किल भने चाहिँ नेगोसिएसन, म्यानेजमेन्ट होइन, कसैसँग चाहिँ पिपललाई कोअर्डिनेट गर्नु, वी कन्सिडर दिस all thing as a soft skill. अब person need to have a hardcore programming skill. अब programming skill, technical skill is essential, but that is not only the factor one can reach to success है. एउटा सक्सेसफुल पर्सनको चाहिँ लागि हेर्ने हो भने only 14% out of 100, only 14% contributes to its hardcore skills, right? And the remaining 86% are the soft skill, right? Of soft skill, there are various things falls into the soft skill, and among them one is the managing people, right? So, kuni pani ya हामी software project management पढिरहेको छ भने we are trying to look over the feature, or we are trying to look over the what are the essential characteristics of software project management manager need to have. One of the essential thing the software project manager need to have is to manage the people. So अब development of software project is team activity. Definitely it's not done by a single person, and it's impossible for a single person to do all the thing. And we are full stack developer, even after being a full stack developer, full stack developer you need the help of some of the people at some stage of the project development. So definitely not generally, project is done in a group, not by a single person. Managing resources is an effective way to complete the project in time. In time is a complete task, so it should be properly managed. Why we should manage a resource भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ. Resource, project itself is a resource intensive. It has got a fixed start and end time, and during that time it consumes a lot of amount of resource, and it's the sole responsibility of software project manager to perform monitoring and evaluation. So if you are doing a software project, and if an organization picks a certain kind of project, definitely the organization picks that project to generate the revenue, to generate the profit. And definitely the project is going to be resource intensive. If the software project manager does not perform monitoring and evaluation in the proper way, then at the end the project may be completed, but it may run out of the budget. It may go out of the bound as well. That is a 1 million project, it may exceed the cost, may exceed 1 million. So what is the use of doing that whole project? The project got no meaning here, so it becomes meaningless. So managing resource is also one of the essential skill that a software project manager. के लेखा भनेर 4 P's भनेर लेख, 4वटा P's को, र यो 4वटा पोइन्ट लेख त यहाँ, यो फेरि एक्जाममा सोधेको क्वेशन पनि हो है ब्रिफमा. ल यो लेखा त प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट इन्भल्भ्स डिलिङ विथ व्हाट people, product, process and project. There mistakes are people, product, process and project. ल यो लेखा त 4 P's in a SPM भनेर टपिक लेख, अनि यो 4वटा कुरा लेख त. Then we'll move on to the next one.
सर हामीलाई यो रङ स्लाइड शेयर भइरहेछ सर.
यो स्लाइडै मुभ भएको छैन जस्तो हो. म त रङ स्लाइड त शेयर भएको छैन. स्लाइड चेन्ज भएको छैन होला, रङ त स्लाइड हुन्छ है त. म यसलाई एक्चुअली फेरि यस्तो हुन्छ क्या, यो टिमको अलिक प्रब्लम यस्तै छ. अब हामी धेरै भयो टिम युज गरेको, वी नो द प्रब्लम है त. यसरी सेयर गर्दाखेरि स्लाइड सेयरै हुँदैन क्या. यहाँ चाहिँ तीको ती बसिरहन्छ. म चाहिँ फेरि सेयर गर्छु है त. अब त्यो मैले भनेको कन्टेक्स्ट र यहाँको पावर पोइन्ट मिलेन भनेपछि त तिमीहरूले मलाई भनिहाल्नु पर्ने होइन, कुरेर बस्ने कुरै भएन. ल अहिले चाहिँ यसो हामी करेक्टमा छौँ होला है. एकछिन सिस्टम यस्तो फेरि अड्किरहेको छ एकैछिन. अहिले देखाएको छ यो प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट इन्भल्भ्स डिलिङ विथ पिपल, प्रोडक्ट, प्रोसेस एन्ड प्रोजेक्ट है. यहाँ चाहिँ मिस्टेक छ स्लाइडमा चाहिँ. सो इन्स्टेड अफ प्रोडक्ट एट द एन्ड इट सुड बी प्रोजेक्ट है. तपाईँलाई फुल स्क्रिन गर्न खोजिरहेको छु एकैछिन है, जस्ट अ मोमेन्ट. एकछिन है, मेरो सिस्टमै फेरि पुरै ह्याङ भएको जस्तो भइरहेको छ. 5 पनि भयो. एकछिन है, म सेयरिङ डिसेबल गरेर फेरि इनेबल गर्छु. होप द्याट विल वर्क. ल हामी यहाँ स्टार्ट गरिरहेको थियौँ. अहिले चाहिँ यो स्लाइड नम्बर 5 देखाएको छ, पेज नम्बर 5 देखाएको छ है. सो अब हामी एक्चुअली म स्लाइड नम्बर 6 को कुरा गरिरहेको थिएँ. सो हियर देयर आर 4 P's. सो यो 4 P's को लास्ट पोइन्ट चाहिँ लेखा त प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट इन्भल्भ्स डिलिङ विथ द पिपल, प्रोडक्ट, प्रोसेस एन्ड प्रोजेक्ट है त. सो यो लेख र राइट डाउन द बेसिक डेफिनेसन अफ दिस 4 P's है. यो एकचोटि सोधेको क्वेसन हो. जेनरली सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट अथवा प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट भन्ने बित्तिकै दिस 4 P's कम्स इन्टु प्ले है. भयो 4 P's. So in 4 P's, PPP भएर 4 P's in project management भनिन्छ. It is not only in the case of software project management. यो सबै खाले project management मा यो कुराहरु आउँछ, and these are the 4 things that a person need to manage in the case of project management. People need to be organized to perform software work effectively. अब हामी यहाँ software को कुरा गरिरा भएर हामीले यहाँ software लेखिरा छौं. So product scope and requirement must be understood effectively by communicating with the customer. So product case ma the requirements should be well understood, right? So we studied a lot of things in the case of software engineering about the requirement engineering, requirement gathering techniques, and what are the problem that can happen if you don't gather the requirement correctly. So we can say this as a STLC. Suitable software process must be selected having the people and the product in consideration. Depending upon the people and the type of the product that you are developing, then we select and we go for one of the kind of process, right? So generally at the moment, in the case of software industry, people go for agile software development. So it's not exactly a STLC, the conventional one. So but that is one of the process model that most of the company are adopting at the present moment, and it has got the better success rate than other kind of STLC भन्न सकिन्छ है त. Though there are fundamental differences between a conventional STLC and the agile software development strategy. And last one, project. Keeping in mind the complexity of work and the resources, the project must be planned in such a way that its completion may take place within a specified resource. And what one should do at the end: time, money, equipment, and people. These all things are need to be well managed so as to keep the resource within the budget. सबै कुरा चाहिँ within the budget राख्नको लागि चाहिँ we need to manage these 4 things: time, money, equipment, and the people भन्छ है त. So 4 P's को यो long question आएको question चाहिँ हैन. So as a tail question आएको थियो. What is software project management? What are the importance of managing a 4 P's, or what are 4 P's भन्ने question जस्तो आएको थियो. So at that time you could write these all things. यो भयो यसमा. Are you done with this one? भयो कि भएन?
भयो सर.
एकैछिन है सर.
ल ल ल यो सकेपछि मलाई भन है.
भयो सर.
सो अब अहिले चाहिँ हामीले जेनरल कुराहरू हेरिरहेका छौँ, including in case of software project management, starting from software project and integrated what a software project is and what a software project management, what are the activities one need to perform under the management भन्ने कुराहरू हेरिरहेका छौँ. So a purpose of project management, अब यहाँ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर भनेको छ. सो अब एकछिन अहिले यो नलेखा इन्ट्रोडक्सन. पर्पज अफ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट: बेटर वर्कलोड म्यानेजमेन्ट एन्ड बेटर कम्युनिकेसन. सो अब अहिलेको लागि चाहिँ अजाइल सफ्टवेयर डेभलपमेन्ट मैले जुन तिमीहरूलाई भनेको छु, अजाइल सफ्टवेयर डेभलपमेन्टमा चाहिँ हामी धेरै वर्षदेखि काम गरिरहेको सफ्टवेयर डेभलपर पनि when he or she moves into the agile software development framework, it will be somewhat kind of difficult for to work at first है. अब मेरो साथी चाहिँ यहाँ काम गरिरहेको थियो न, he moved on to US, so he is a very good developer. तर चाहिँ अब हामीले नगरेर काम एकैचोटि गर्नु पर्दाखेरि it becomes kind of odd to perform है. के गर्नुपर्छ भने once you close the day, every day before you start your work, you should brief the thing that you did in your in previous days है. जस्तै मैले आजको चाहिँ काम स्टार्ट गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि there will be a meeting in like agile software development, scrum भनौँ, scrum master मा भनौँ. अनि what every individual member of a project need to express is that what they did in the last days. मैले आजको काम स्टार्ट गर्नुभन्दा अगाडि what I did in my yesterday's work भनेर चाहिँ ब्रिफिङ गर्नुपर्छ अरे. अनि उसले के भन्थ्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब every time you need to express or you need to see what you did in your last working days. सो अब म काम नगरेपछि मैले चाहिँ कुनै पनि चाहिँ मैले आउटपुट दिन सकिनँ भने समटाइम द्याट्स ट्रु होइन कि एज अ डेभलपर समटाइम्स इभन यु मे वर्क फर अ होल डे बट you may stuck on the same point, or you may go backward as well. Being a developer, you may think that you have completed your code for a 50% and you hope to complete more in the next days, but while working and playing with the while refactoring the code, you may go backward as well. As a 50% code complete bhako somewhere you are stuck, you try to refactor your code, and by doing so you may go backward as well. Agadiको previous stage ma problem आएर चाहिँ I may need to go backward as well. So in case of agile software development, before you start the work of the day, you should explain what you did in the last working days. So if you don't do anything in जस्तै मैले आज केही पनि गरिनँ भनेदेखि चाहिँ I will have a pressure. भोलि त मलाई त मिटिङमा त केही गर्नु छ, म यतिकै दिनभरि बसेर मेरो केही पनि कामै भएन. I was looking over the Stack Overflow. I copied the code from there, but when I copied and pasted that code in my code that was not working त्यो भनेर त you are not going to escape out हैन. You are not you will not be considered as a efficient developer. So there is always a pressure to perform. There's always a pressure to perform. At least you should have done something positive, something new than what you did yesterday. त्योभन्दा अगाडि तिमीले के काम गरे त्योभन्दा पक्कै पनि नयाँ मैले यो गरी भनेर चाहिँ you need to come up with that one. So त्यो कारणले चाहिँ अजाइल सफ्टवेयर डेभलपमेन्ट चाहिँ वर्किङ हुनुको कारण चाहिँ अजाइलको मिनिङ चाहिँ के हुन्छ भनेदेखि अजाइल भनेको क्विक एन्ड फास्ट हुन्छ. क्विक एन्ड फास्ट भनेपछि इट्स गो फर इटरेटिभ मोडल. इटरेटिभ भनेको चाहिँ यु गो अन फर डेभलपिङ द्याट थिङ इन बिट्स एन्ड पिसेस, सानो 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 गरेर कम्बाइन गरेर जाने हो. एन्ड इफ यु आर वान अफ member of the agile software development method, then it's become your responsibility and it becomes obligation for you to do at least something new in that day, okay? So that you could brief the thing next day with your group or team members. So अहिले यो लेख्नु पर्ने हेर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर. अब हामी प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजरको कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ. सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर इज अ पर्सन who undertakes the responsibility of executing the software project. अब प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर भनेको साइडमा तिमीहरूले सिइओ पनि लेख्न सक्छौ है. अब देयर आर डिफरेन्सेस बिट्विन अ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर एन्ड अ प्रोग्राम म्यानेजरको त डिफरेन्स हुन्छ. सफ्टवेयर कम्पनी इन्डस्ट्री मे रन अ डिफरेन्ट काइन्ड अफ प्रोजेक्ट है. अब एउटा इन्डस्ट्रीमा देयर मे बी अ प्रोजेक्ट ए, देयर मे बी अ प्रोजेक्ट बी, देयर मे बी अ प्रोजेक्ट सी. For every project, there is a CEO of that project, and that person is known as the project manager, right? The person is a project manager. For example, a company X is running 3 concurrent projects at any time, project A and project B and project C. Definitely to look over those project A, B, C, there is a project manager. And on top of that, there is a program manager. A program manager is a person which is higher in the hierarchy considered compared to the project manager. Project manager भन्दा ठुलो मान्छेलाई चाहिँ हामी program manager भन्छौँ. So where project manager should report? Project manager should report to the program manager है. So अब के बुझ्नु पर्यो? A software company may run a concurrent project at any time, project A, project B, C. There can be many different projects, and for every project there is a person, a CEO of that project. We call that person as a project manager, right? To person line, we call that person as a project manager. And where project manager need to report? Project manager कसलाई report गर्नुपर्छ भने project manager should report to the program manager. So in a software industry, there is only one program manager, but there can be a multiple project manager depending upon the type of the project that the company is handling. So project manager भनेको के हो? That is the person who is the CEO of that project, right? कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्टको जससँग चाहिँ अथोरिटी छ, who have the sole authority to perform any kind of changes or accommodation in that project is considered to be the project manager, and to whom that project manager is going to report. That project manager is going to report to the program manager. So अब यहाँ हेर प्रोजेक्ट अब यहाँ 8 सेमेस्टरमा एसपीएम पढ्नुको अब्जेक्टिभ भनेको नै so to know about what a project manager is going to do in a software company भन्ने पनि हो. What are the duties, roles and responsibility, and to become a project manager, what are the skills that you need starting from an intern developer भन्ने कुरा पनि हो है. So this course is somewhat centered to become a project manager as well. So our software project manager is a person who undertakes the responsibility of executing the software project. So that's why I'm telling that this person is the CEO of that project. A software project manager is thoroughly aware of all the phases of SDLC that the software will go through. So अब कुन सफ्टवेयरमा कुन सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्टमा कुन चाहिँ खाले प्रोसेस मोडल एडप्ट गर्ने विच प्रोसेस मोडल इज गोइङ टु वर्क भनेर चुज गर्ने चाहिँ सोल रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी अथोरिटी चाहिँ कोसँग हुन्छ दिस रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी एन्ड अथोरिटी लाइज विदिन दि जब्स एन्ड रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी अफ अ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर है we study so many different kind of process model. There is ad hoc process model as well, which don't have, which is built and fixed kind. Banoni, if it is not working, then we fix that one, and or we go for the spiral, the special rad model, the special evolutionary prototyping, or we go for the agile software development method. There are different kind of process model. So to go for which one will depend upon the skills, knowledge, and experience of the project manager. Right? So if some process model is working perfectly fine for your software project, then definitely for the next time also the project manager is going to pick that one. So which process model to go through will be decided by the project manager. So project manager is a managerial job. Manager it's a managerial job. It's all about the management. The project manager is not going to help you to write down the code. He will just perform the monitoring and evaluation part. So on not only monitoring and evaluation, there are so many things that a project manager need to do, but he's not going to write down the code for you, but he is able to review the things if the things are not going in the proper direction. So yeah, a project manager may never directly involved in producing the end product, right? Never it means the same thing. A project manager may never directly involved in producing the end product. So a project manager have all the technical knowledge. A project manager, he has started from an intern developer. So intern developer, then the developer, team lead, and so on. He has moved up to the hierarchy to the project manager. So one have all the technical knowledge that are junior developers or the developer in his team are having. But he will never directly write down the code for you. But he can monitor and evaluate the thing. Can give for the suggestion, that kind of thing. But he controls and manages the activities involved in the production. Definitely need to manage that manage the activities. A project manager closely monitors the development process, prepares and executes various plans, arrange necessary and adequate resource, maintain communication among all team members in order to address issue of cost, budget, resource, time, and quality and customer satisfaction. Except writing down the hard code, coding लेख्नुभन्दा बाहेक management related सबै काम कसले गर्छ in a software project that is done by a single person known as software project manager, and he is the CEO of that project हुन्छ है त त्यो प्रोजेक्टको CEO को हुन्छ. That person is going to be the CEO of that project, and at the end if the project success, then also he is going to be the responsible for that one. कुनै पनि प्रोजेक्ट सक्सेस भएको छ भने त्यसको सोल त्यसको क्रेडिट पनि प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजरले जान्छ. इफ इट फेल्स देन अल्सो इट विल बी इन हिज अर हर पोर्टफोलियो है. सो अब यो चाहिँ एज बिङ अ सिओ भएपछि द सोल अथोरिटी एन्ड रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी विल बी अन्डर दि सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर. ल ल अब यो चाहिँ तिमीहरूले लेख त वाट आर द क्यारेक्टरिस्टिक अफ अ सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर भनेर लेख त. ल सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजरमा के कुराहरू हुनुपर्छ त. वाट are the essential skill that a software project manager need to have भन्ने कुरामा चाहिँ these are the some of the listed skills that a project manager need to have. अब योभन्दा बाहेक अरू पनि हुन सक्छ. ल यो पहिला लेख त. यो पनि सोधेकै क्वेसन हो है, यहाँ थ्योरी पार्ट. ल अर्दी जब रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी अफ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर पनि भए हुन्छ. वाट आर द एसेन्सियल स्किल द्याट अ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर निड टु ह्याभ भन्दा पनि दिज आर दि एसेन्सियल स्किल द्याट अ प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजर निड टु ह्याभ. यो स्लाइड नम्बर 8 देखाएको छ तिमीहरूले. क्यान यु सी दिस?
Yes, sir.
Slide number 8 को these are the essential skill that a software project manager need to have. त्यो भएर यो पार्ट चाहिँ तिमीहरू लेख त ल. Developing the project plan, planning बाट start हुन्छ software project चाहिँ. Then managing the project stakeholders. अब यो stakeholders भनेको के हो त? Can anyone explain what is a stakeholder? Stakeholders भनेको के हुन्छ? ल यो कपी गर्यो तिमीहरूले? Have you copied this?
एकछिन सर सकिन आँट्यो।
ल सकेपछि मलाई भन है। ल अब कसैले मलाई भन त यहाँ म्यानेजिङ दी प्रोजेक्ट स्टेक होल्डर्स भनेको छ। स्टेक होल्डर्स भनेको के हो त?
प्रोडक्ट ओनर होला।
हजुर
प्रोडक्ट ओनर
यही भन्न त मैले सुनिन के भनेको।
यो जसले चाहिँ त्यो प्रोजेक्टलाई प्रोजेक्ट चलाउँछ
चलाउँछ भन्दा पनि स्टेक होल्डर्समा को नेपाली मिनिङ चाहिँ सरकारवाला हुन्छ हैन। So stakeholders are the people who are directly or indirectly involved in that project, है? Who are directly or indirectly involved in that project are known as stakeholders. So अब in a simple example, अब कलेजको केसमा कुरा गर्छौं भनेदेखि the main role player are the student, teacher and the management, है? त्योभन्दा बाहेक your parents, your environment in the college, canteen, these all are the kind of stakeholders. So they are indirectly or directly involved in the success and the failure of your career, right? So they were the one who are directly or indirectly involved in the project are known as the stakeholders, right? So अब यहाँ अर्को यहाँ तिमीहरूलाई बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा चाहिँ के छ भन्दा developing the project plans, definitely it's the job duty of the project manager to create the project plan. Project plan मा चाहिँ there can be a very different kind of plan. अब त्यो scheduling पनि होला, अब cost management को plan होला, त्यो हामी हेर्न बाँकी नै छ. We'll see that one all. Managing communication. So managing communication भनेको how you are going to form the communication channel, how you are going to communicate with each and every member of your your project भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ that plan need to be set up by the project manager, how you are going to communicate, how you are going to form a better communication with all the members भन्ने कुरा. And अब अरु यहाँ एउटा बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा चाहिँ अब यहाँ हामी managing the project team, definitely it's the role of the project manager. Project schedule, budget अब यहाँ भनेको छ. So scheduling को लागि चाहिँ हामीले CPM part पढ्नै बाँकी छ. We'll study that one very soon in chapter number 3. Chapter number 3 मा पढ्छौँ हामी. And budget हरुको कुरा चाहिँ हामी almost second last chapter मा पढ्छौँ. And managing the project conflict है. Managing the project conflict भनेको there can be the conflicting requirement between the people है. There may be the conflicting requirement between the people, and it's the responsibility of the project manager to negotiate that conflict है त. For example, अब यही काठमाडौँमा रोड बढाउने केसमा हैन, the people driving in the road need wider and wider and bigger road, and the person जसको चाहिँ बाटोमा घर छ, जसको घर भत्किन्छ, त्यसको लागि चाहिँ they have done enough है त, enough has been done भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ. So there is always a conflicting requirement between the two party है. For example, अब client र अब management को केसमा company, software company takes over a software project. अब definitely a client want to pay least amount of money and get the best out of that software project, and definitely management want to have the lot of revenues है. भनेपछि there is a conflicting requirement between a different stakeholder, and so as to bring to the common meeting point, that is also becomes the role of the project manager हुन्छ है त. So these are the characteristics, or these are the features that a project manager, or the skills that a project manager need to have, and these all are kind of soft skills है. यसलाई हामी soft skill भन्छौँ, यो hardcore skill हैन. So एकछिन म यसलाई sharing लाई disable गर्छु. Let me see something else. एकैछिन है, just a moment. ल अब हामी चाहिँ let's start with the actual definition of three terms in conjunction, that is software, project and management. त्यो गर्दा के हुन्छ हेरौँ. So from current slide एकैछिन है, मेरो सिस्टम अलिकति it's not that slow. Stay on. ल software project management भनेर, can you see this?
देखेको छु सर.
ल अब software project management को अब just first को point को definition मात्रै लेख. What a software project management is? Software project management, there are three terms. अब हामी management को role बाट हेर्छौँ भनेदेखि management हुन्छ, त्यसको under project management हुन्छ. Project management को नि specialized part भनेको चाहिँ software project management हुन्छ है त. So what is software project management? It's the process of managing, allocating and timing resources to develop computer software that meets requirements है. One of the concise definition यो हुन्छ. So यो definition लेख. Then after we will move on to the next one. So they were last point मा हेर्न सक्छौ त्यहाँ. It is the sub-discipline of project management right? Definitely it's a project management, but it has got the different things need to be managed, which is different than other kind of project management. So it is a specialized part of the project management हुन्छ है त, in which software projects are planned, implemented, monitored and controlled भन्ने लेखिरहेको छ त्यहाँ. So write down the first point, that's enough. The definition, the basic definition of the software project management.
सक्यो सर।
La. This is the basic definition of software project management, and you can see here. So it is the sub-discipline of project management. So it's definitely a project management, but a specialized part of a project management, because there comes a term software, and we have talked in our last class what could be the possible difference between a normal kind of project and a software project भन्ने कुरा हामीले है। एकैछिन है, यहाँ एकछिन नोइज बढी आइरहेछ है, एकछिन यहाँ 2 मिनट है, एकैछिन जस्ट ओके ल यसलाई हामी कन्टिन्यू गरौँ। the steps involved in the software project management भन्दा यो 8 वटा टर्म्सहरु लेख। त्यसपछि हाम्रो यो फर्स्ट हाफ सकिन्छ है। हाम्रो च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 को सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट इन्ट्रोडक्सन को फर्स्ट हाफ चाहिँ सकिन्छ। त्यसपछि हामी प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ भनेर छ, जहाँबाट चाहिँ हामी जेनरल लङ क्वेसन आइरहेछ 12 मार्क्स को, त्यो पार्ट हेर्छौं। सो नाउ राइट डाउन दिस 8 स्टेप्स इन केस अफ सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्ट है, यो लेख। त्यसपछि हामी चाहिँ अर्कोमा जान्छौं। So SPM involves of 8 tasks. Problem identification, अब तिमीहरूले यसलाई हेर्छौ भने के इट्स अ काइन्ड अफ STLC प्रोसेस मोडल जस्तो पनि छ। प्रब्लम आइडेन्टिफिकेसन, प्रब्लम डेफिनेसन, प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ, प्रोजेक्ट अर्गनाइजेसन, रिसोर्स एलोकेसन, प्रोजेक्ट शेड्युलिङ। सो यो भनेको चाहिँ टोटल हाम्रो होल सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्ट म्यानेजमेन्टलाई वी क्यान क्लासिफाई इन दिस वे एज वेल। हामी टोटल 1 to 5 को जुन च्याप्टर छ हामीसँग सबैलाई चाहिँ we can classify in this way as well. Some may fall in chapter number 1, some in chapter number 2, and so on हुन्छ। So as a whole, software project management is going to involve these all things. So you can see the start and the end है। So we start from the problem identification। अब यहाँ भनेको चाहिँ अब सफ्टवेयर प्रोजेक्टको केसमा चाहिँ जेनरली वी डोन्ट स्टार्ट फ्रम द प्रब्लम आइडेन्टिफिकेसन हैन। हामी चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ हामी बिडिङ गर्छौं, प्रोजेक्टलाई बिड गर्छौं, वी गेट द प्रोजेक्ट, देन विल स्टार्ट द डेभलपमेन्ट अफ दैट प्रोजेक्ट। बट इन अदर काइन्ड अफ प्रोजेक्ट व्हाई वी नीड अ प्रोजेक्ट भनेपछि देयर एक्जिस्ट अ प्रब्लम है, देयर एक्जिस्ट अ प्रब्लम इन आवर सोसाइटी, इन आवर कम्युनिटी, इन आवर कन्ट्री, एन्ड वी ट्राई टु एड्रेस दोज प्रब्लम, एन्ड फर दैट वी आर गोइङ टु स्टार्ट अ प्रोजेक्ट है। कीप दैट थिङ इन माइन्ड है। इन केस अफ सफ्टवेयर companies, they are not going to look for the problem and they are not going to find the solution for that one. Instead, they look for the potential client, they look for the potential organization who can give them the project to develop है। So तर general life मा चाहिँ why we need a project किन चाहिन्छ भन्दाखेरि there exists a problem in the society community or that can be in the world. अब त्यो प्रब्लमलाई एड्रेस गर्नको लागि त्यो प्रब्लमलाई सल्भ गर्नको लागि or to minimize the effect of certain problems we will go for the development of a project. So we start from the problem identification. There's a problem, and to address that problem we are going to develop the project. So there are various steps in between from problem identification to project termination, and what exactly a project termination is that either that project succeed or that project fails. There are two chances. There is no in between. There it's like 1 and 0. If 1 is success, 0 is failure, we can say that one. So either the project is going to be successful or project is going to be a failure. So starting from the problem identification, we go up to project termination. So in case of software engineering, in case of software project, there's a term called fall faster. If something is not going to work, if something is going to fail, and let the management know earliest possible time. It is not always true that the project taken by an organization is going to be a successful one. So there may be the chances that a project may go for the failure as well. Project failure को chance पनि जान सक्छ. So as a project manager, your responsibility becomes is that you should know the management earliest possible time to the management that these things are not going to work, our project is going to be in the failure, and we may need to revise our plan. So these all things need to be reported to the higher management at the earliest possible time. We call that as the fall faster venture, because the more you take time to know the management that things are not going to work, more time, resource, and money has already been invested. And for the failure project, if you invest more and more money, that will be the loss. The client is never going to pay you for the unsuccessful project. Cliently unsuccessful project, it's never going to pay for you. Project तिमीलाई pay गर्नेवाला छैन. It's only going, client is only going to pay you for the project that matches with his or her requirement. So these are the 8 steps in case of software project management. We call it this as a whole, the things that we need to cover in the subject software project management. Love you part and I'll give it this slide as well. You can see this one. अब हाम्रो यो पार्टमा चाहिँ हाम्रो लङ क्वेशन आइरहेछ च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 बाट. च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 बाट लङ क्वेशन चाहिँ केबाट आइरहेछ भने ओभरभ्यू अफ प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ बाट आइरहेछ है. सो अब देयर आर सो मेनी स्टेप्स इन ओभरभ्यू अफ प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ. अब पहिला तिमीलाई मैले यो तिमीलाई सेलेक्ट गर्छु है त. ल यो च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 बाट इम्पोर्टेन्ट क्वेशनमा लेखिराख. च्याप्टर नम्बर 1 बाट लङ क्वेशन सोधेको नि छ. इफ इट इज अगेन आस्क, सो दिस इज द क्वेशन दैट दे आर गोइङ टु आस्क इन लङ क्वेशन है. सो टपिक लेखा ओभरभ्यू अफ प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ. ओभरभ्यू अफ प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिङ भनेर लेखा. So and then copy the thing in this particular slide, then I will share you the figure of this one. So this question covers 12 mark and will be asked in group A long question. Group A को long question में chapter number 1 बाट generally सोधिरहेको question भनेको चाहिँ overview of project planning नै हो. ल सुनिरहेछ मलाई? Can you hear me?
सुनिरहेछ सर.
ल यो लेखा त ल overview of project planning भनेर. Here is a very important question from chapter number 1 and it is generally asked in 12 marks. Group A मा सोधेको question हो. Overview of project planning. तिमीहरुको PDF हेर्छौ भने step wise project planning लेखेको छ. It's the same thing है. त्यही भएर यहाँ the framework, this is a framework. अब framework को तिमीहरुलाई meaning थाहै छ. framework use गर्नुको चाहिँ advantage disadvantage के छ. So project planning को नि एउटा framework जस्तो हो and we'll try to plan being in this framework है.
पुण्यको माइक अन छ है
साकर सरले हेर्नु
मेरै म्युट छ फेरि so this is overview of project planning or step wise project planning को these are the steps हो स्टेप नम्बर 0 देखि 10 सम्म भएको सो यसको चाहिँ लागि चाहिँ अब हामीले we need to actually draw this block diagram हामी यताको यो ब्लक डायग्राम बनाउनु पर्छ सो अब यसलाई चाहिँ हामी नेक्स्ट क्लासमा कन्टिन्यू गर्छौं है भइरहेको छ नि यहाँ आज मेरो डेटा पनि अलमोस्ट 1 आवर मात्र लिएको हो डेटा अब सकियो भन्दा नि भयो सकिसक्यो so this is the thing that we need to cover so यसलाई चाहिँ हामी रिमेनिङ पार्टलाई चाहिँ we'll cover it in the next class यो 12 मार्क्सको क्वेशन आउँदाखेरि याद गर you need to explain every point starting from 0 to 10 है त you need to explain every point starting from 0 to 10 so our next class मा हामी यो फिगर यो ब्लक डायग्रामलाई कम्प्लिट गरेर then we will see how we are going to explain 0 to 10 है त 0 देखि 10 सम्म स्टेपलाई कसरी एक्सप्लेन गर्छ भन्ने कुरा we'll see that in our next class है त आजलाई यति गरौँ है हुन्छ सर है हामी अब सन्डे भेटिहाल्छौँ इफ इन केस अब मलाई केही प्रब्लम छ भने मैले चाहिँ त्यहाँ नोटिस नछोडेको केसमा चाहिँ क्लास भइहाल्छ है त्यो तिमीहरूले त्यसमा कन्फ्युजन लिनै पर्दैन है इफ देयर इज अ नोटिस इन माइक्रोसफ्ट टिम क्लास हुन्न भने द्याट्स समथिङ एल्स होइन भने चाहिँ मैले नोटिस नगरे बेला हाम्रो रेगुलर क्लासमा क्लास भइहाल्छ है त ल आजलाई मैले यति गरेँ वेट अ मोमेन्ट आई निड टु टेक द एटेन्डेन्स लिउँ हामी 8:15 सम्म आज 8 सम्म मात्रै गरौँ केही प्रब्लम भएन त्यो चौबिस जना ल डाउनलोड लिस्ट ल म रेकर्डिङलाई स्टप गर्छु अब यो रेकर्डिङ चाहिँ यु क्यान एक्सेस फर नेक्स्ट 20 डेज है यो रेकर्डिङ चाहिँ विल बी इन माइक्रोसफ्ट टिम फर नेक्स्ट 20 डेज तर त्योभन्दा उता चाहिँ इट विल नट एक्जिस्ट अटोमेटिकली यहाँ डिलिट हुन्छ